सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। वसुदेवं सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। हरि ओम. Yes, please. I think it is time. Can someone recollect what is it that we have seen last? We stopped at the 15th shloka of the 15th Adhyay. Yes, Badrinathji. Yes, sir. Most welcome. Yes, ji. Hari Om Rekha ji, Hari Om Prakash ji, Hari Om Dheeraj ji, Hari Om Deepak ji, Dr. Atul ji. Yes, sir. Yes, Badrinathji, please feel free to unmute.
Hari Om ji, Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hello.
Yes.
The Ashwatha tree with its roots below and branches above is compared to the tree of life.
Okay, we could. Yes, ji. Krishna is not comparing it to the tree of life. We are probably giving that comparison.
Okay.
Of course. Yes, sir.
The tree of Maya is getting nourished by the gunas that a person possesses. Then running after the materialistic objects continuously, sanskars are created which forms the jada or the roots.
Okay. They are binding a person.
Yeah, they are binding a person. Caught up in the vicious circle of Maya, a person gets trapped in his life.
And it's a permanent trap, isn't it, Ji?
Yeah. Then only by detachment can one overcome this Maya in his life.
Yes, asakta asanga shastrena, as Krishna uses the word. Yes, please.
Then further, a longingness for the Supreme and taking refuge in the Supreme, one reaches the heavenly abode from where there is no return for such a person.
Means the consciousness rises. Once it rises, it does not fall trapped.
He reaches that supreme level. He reaches the heavenly abode or the abode of the Lord, and from there is no return.
Yes, another interpretation of the same is that once your consciousness rises, then it will not get trapped in by the lower pulls. And so the yogi, by focusing and meditating on the divine, has raised his consciousness to such a state that no more is he going to be lured and tempted by Maya's traps. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then overcoming the dualities of nature like sorrow, joy, pleasure, pain, and dwelling in the self and practicing non-attachment, a person progresses towards the Supreme by a rise in the conscious level.
Okay, sir.
Then Lord Krishna further goes ahead to say that every living being originates from him, and he is the power behind the mind and the senses.
Okay.
Then he further says,
yes, sir,
that I am inside every living body.
Okay.
And the body is nourished by me. The food, the digestion power that is there in a human being, I am that digestion power which digests all the food. Then as the prana leaves the body, I correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
As the prana leaves the body, I take away. Is it right?
What's the last words were not audible?
As the prana leaves the body, I take away the senses. Is it right?
It is. It is in a way right. What it is talked about it, how it is described in the shloka is that like a beautiful fragrance is pulled by the wind. Like that, when the prana leaves the body, the indriyas also leave.
Acha, the prana leaves the body and the indriyas leave. Just as the
that's
wind
the
leaves
senses, the same thing what you said, but the example was given like a simile of a fragrance being pushed away by the wind.
Yeah, just as a passing wind on
Yes,
its way
yes.
leaves a fragrance.
Yes, yes. The
Then,
Sharira is left behind. Sharira is left behind, but the prana
yeah,
leaves, the living being's existence disappears on the earth. Yes, Chief.
uh, only due to the divine presence in the body, the senses of smell, touch,
Okay.
hearing, eyes, that is sight, all this are perceived, and the
Yes.
objects of mind and senses
Okay.
are also enjoyed.
So the divine is participating, what we can say, the divine is participating in our moments, probably gathering certain experiences. And this presence of the divine is not understood by everybody. People are unconscious of the divine presence. And because they are unconscious, they don't realize divine is coming or divine is going. Where is the divine? But that is not the case for the yogis. Yogis understand, they understand the divine. So they focus on the divine, they meditate on the divine, and they recognize the divinity, which is brilliant, more brilliant than the sun, more brilliant than the moon. So that is, yes, Badrinathji, do you want to add some more? It was a very beautiful summary that you gave of the Adhyay so
No,
far.
then one thing was, the persons who are caught up in the Maya, they do not understand this. However, those evolved souls, they know that the Lord is the doer and the enjoyer, and they rise up to a conscious level where as yesterday, as you said, that Jnana Chakshu, that
Yes.
inner eye of knowledge opens up, and all the divine qualities come to the forefront of such a person.
Absolutely. So that is the raising of consciousness which happens. Now, what does happen? What does happen in such an individual? Morphologically, there's no difference. Sometimes you will see, is this an awakened person? ये कैसे चलता है, कैसे बोलता है? What, look at his appearance. What is this? No, it is not a physical change. It is a realization which comes on the inside. It has nothing to do with the outer morphology. It is something on the inside. The moment that changes, then the transformation also takes place. Yes, sir. I'll just continue. Can I go ahead,
Then,
Badrinathji?
one
Or
or
you
two
want to add
points.
some?
Yesterday, you
Okay.
said that I am the divinity in the medicine, which is the potency, which has the
Yes.
potency to cure the illness. Am I right?
Yes. So I am. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. I think.
Then,
I think sometimes doctors are also surprised how a placebo is effective. They don't understand. Their patient has not been given a medicine. It is only a placebo. But why is it working? How is it working? Well, it is simple. The Shraddha of the patient is sometimes functional. Shraddha of the patient is making a placebo also a medicine. And the word soma is used. If you see, soma is the karak of Oshadhi also, in according to the Shastras. They say, like, I just mute Badrianji because there's a sound. When you want to start, you can please unmute. So this soma is also equated to the moon. They say Chandrama Manaso Jataha, mind is connected with the soma. In Ayurveda, it is said the Oshadhis get their strength, their medical potency at night time only. So it is in the day that these photosynthetic reactions take place. So in the night, it is where the soma is blessing these oshadhis and medicines are growing. Well, all of these symbolisms have different meanings if you go deeper and deeper. But what we do understand is the potency of the medicine. So sometimes you have to have that faith. If they say, Oshadhi Janavi Toyam, Vaidyo Narayano Harihi. The Vaidya is no less than Narayana. When the Vaidya who is knowing the medicine, the value, so there the transformation also takes place when the medication is taken. That potency is the divinity, is what Krishna is talking about. Then one more thing that Krishna talked about. Badrinathji, do you want to add something more? Or we'll go ahead?
Lord Krishna says, I am the heartbeat, the memory and the knowledge in a person. And
Yes.
I am also the originator of the Vedas.
Yes.
Then, as
Yes.
you said, the yogis and the sages who have understood this truth, they have moved to the path of realization, whereas the Muda, who is caught up in the vicious circle of Maya, does not know this truth at all. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you,
That's
sir.
all.
Thank you. That was a beautiful, wonderful summary of what we saw, the 15 shlokas. So the last part, Krishna says, I am present in every heart that beats. Means hearts of everyone, people you like, people you don't like also. The divine is present inside. This is one. And Krishna is saying, that is why the Vedas, you study the Vedas, you will know me. I am the source of the Vedas only. This is something which we can probably understand, because what is the source of the Vedas? Vedas, whereby somebody is unmuted. I'll try to find that camera, or if you can just mute. Yeah, all right. So this Vedas, the source of the Vedas, the Rishis, what did they do? Where did they connect? They connected with the divinity only, and they got their suktas. They connected directly with the divine. And Krishna is saying, understand the divine, you will understand the Vedas. Or understand the Vedas, you will understand the divine. Corollary also will work. And that is why if you go across length and breadth of India, go to any village, go to any corner, you will see a realized Atman. This realized being, maybe sometime some Baba is here, another person is there. This person may not have studied Shastras. This person may not have studied the scriptures. But the followers of that yogi or that guru immediately find Shastric references in the statements. How is it possible? How is it possible that somebody who has not, well, it's not so unbelievable, because it's connecting to that single cosmic source. Now look at the invaders. They thought they will destroy all in Sanatan Dharma by burning our libraries. Even now in France, libraries are being burned. But can where did that first thought also come from? It is from a source which is not in the material. So nobody can touch that source. This will happen. This is Punarapi Janama, Punarapi Marana, Pralaya is there, Punar Nirman is there. Again, and everything, it just goes on. It's a cycle of creation, but the source cannot be touched. And Krishna is saying, I am that source. Connect to me, experience that wisdom, is what he is telling you. Vedantic wisdom also. And I also just added one more line is, after the Gita study, pick up any Upanishad you want, any name you like, random logic or something you have an aspiration already. Yeah, I want to study this Upanishad, Muktika Upanishad, Mandukya, or whichever Upanishad you think of, Kena Upanishad. Just you will see references of Bhagavad Gita. Definitely, you might actually later on call me and tell me I found this reference. But that is true. Why all these Upanishads are also teaching that same Brahmagyan, only the Marga is different. They're all, the Akraman is for that same target only, Brahmagyan. One is using a bow and arrow, another is using a sword, another is using a spear, something like that. They're using different methods. So, Krishna is saying this is the divine, and this divine is present inside of us. Imagine getting the realization that there is a divine inside of us. What more is required? You will become peaceful, you will become calm, you will be able to understand things that are going on, and you'll also probably be able to accept things that you are not understanding as well, because all of this is part. Padrinanji wants to add something?
No.
No. All right. Yes. So then let us continue. Krishna goes on. Dvavimau purushau loke sharashchakshara evacha shara sarvani bhutani kutastho uchyate. In the universe, there are two forms of manifestation. One, destructible, while the other, one the indestructible, while the other attains destruction. So in this Vishwa, there are two forms. One is the Shara and one is the Akshara. Shara means that which is destroyed, which is destroyable. Akshara. Our alphabets are also called Akshara, isn't it? Because they are the base from which the entire language also is originating. Like that, there is one form which is not destroyable, another form which is destroyable. So what about human beings? Are we part of Shara or Akshara? Anybody?
Shara.
Shara. Arvindji says Shara. Anybody else? Yes?
Body is Kshara.
Body
Body is
Kshara.
Kshara.
Body is
Okay.
Kshara.
Then what is Akshara, which is
Atman.
Atman?
Soul.
Yes, absolutely. The soul, the Jivatman inside. And what do you associate with is the question. Do you associate with the Shara or do you associate with the Akshara? If you associate with the Akshara, then you will have probably the same experience what the yogis also experience. Svatma Ramoham. Svena Swasmin Swayam Brahma. Swe Mahimni Swano Bhutam. That is what is Satyam Jnanadhanam. Praptam Paramapadam. Shantam Vimala Sukham. All those experiences are to be taken. So we can understand. I cannot take too much pride that, see, I'm so and so powerful right now. I can give a punch and one person will fall down. After 20 years, 30 years, I will be the same person who will not be able to get up after receiving one punch again. So what is going to happen is this Vishwa is going to keep changing. But something which is not changing, that is what is Akshara. But we humans, we are part of Kshara. Inside of us is that which is Akshara. Krishna goes on. In all living things is found the form destructible, but seated high above them all is a form imperishable. So that is there. The divine is something which is beyond humanity also. Unless humanity is learning to raise in consciousness, probably this is the experiment of the divine also. Divine wants humanity to also raise and become divine. Let us see, let us experience. Kalki Avatar will come and probably solve the riddle also. Why, what, how, all that we'll have to just go on. Krishna goes on, Uttamaha Purushastvanyaha Paramot Paramatme Tyupadharutaha Yo Lokatrayama Vishya Bibhartyavyaya Ishvaraha. Apart from these two, is the spirit highest. Of all manifestations, it is considered greatest. Entering existence, this supreme self latent exists. All three worlds, this being divine, uplifts. Means there is something which is even beyond the limits of Shara and Akshara. I think anybody has studied calculus in school, differential calculus, we have this, our integrations, when we do integrations, we have limits, isn't it? 0 to infinity. Well, this is beyond the limits also. What is 0 also? Beyond the infinite also is that supreme divine, meaning it's beyond measurements. It is beyond understanding, beyond this which is destroyable and which is non-destroyable. So this is Atita. That is the supreme one who is present, silent, latent in this universe. All three worlds are uplifted by the divine. Yasmat Sharamatito Aham Aksharaadapi Chottamaha Atosmi Loke Vede Cha Prathitaha Purushottamaha. So these yogis, when they go into meditation, they get experiences. As I am beyond the manifestations, perishable, transcendent, and surpassing even the imperishable. The Vedas and the world together proclaim, I am the supreme self. They exclaim. So what will you study? The Vedas will say, this is the divine. Anybody has heard of this Brahma Vakya? Tat Tvam Asi. Yes? Tat Tvam Asi. What is the meaning of this? Anyone? Yes, yes. Who is it, Ji? I'm only seeing the screen name as Oppo. So please tell me. Yes, sir?
I am that.
Okay. I am, that is Aham Brahma. Okay. So who
Aham
is that?
Brahma
That
Asmi.
is
That is
okay, that is
I am
he
that
or he is that.
soul.
Okay. Fine.
That thou art.
That thou art. Okay. So Ham Asmi, Tattvam Asi, Aham Brahmasmi. All of these are Mahavakyas. Why are they called Mahavakyas? Because if you look on a superficial level, who is that? That is that. What is the meaning of that? Well, no, this Tattvam Asi, that Tattva is that supreme Tattva of the divine, the Brahma Tattva, the realization of the divine. And it's like a scientist who has finally concluded after the full research. Hence, I conclude like that these Vedantic Rishis have got the experience. How did they get the experience? There are various pramanas which they have experienced. They have written down also. Some have got Pratyaksha Anubhav directly. Now, what is that Pratyaksha Anubhav? You taste it. Buddha also got the realization and he became, isn't it? How was it? How Prince Gautama becomes the great Shakyamuni Buddha? How? How does that realization, the blossoming of inner lotus? Did he eat lotus seeds and then it started blossoming inside of him? No, it's not a physical lotus, it is a realization. Om Mani Padme Hum is again connecting to something, some realization. Well, the Vedas, the ancient scriptures, all of them, they are ultimately proclaiming and concluding this is the divine. So there is a Pratyaksha, there is a Shabda Pramana. There, if a guru has told me that is God, and I believe my guru because my Shraddha is so much that guru tells me jump from the building, I will jump. That kind of realization is I have got that much Shraddha. So then that will become my proof for me. So like that, different people have understood different. One more is neti, not this, not this, not this. It is called Anupalabdhi. Means not this. Elimination. I think this we had derivation, isn't it? In our studies also. This can from this. I think in titrations also we try to identify, test for this, whether it is this, which item is there, which chemical is present inside. So we do the different tests. Test for chlorine. Okay, hence we got this particular reaction. That means this is not present. This is not present. Finally, the conclusion comes. From all these negations, we understand that this is the truth. Like that, the Vedas are also helping a person. Look at Nasadya Sukta, it talks about that. Look at Purusha Sukta also, it will talk the same thing. Last Sukta is also talking about the same thing, that divinity which is present everywhere. So this divine, they are able to understand, and that is why they proclaim Tattvamasi. Even in Dhyana, sometimes you can get the experience. One experience. Yes, does anybody want to add something? If not, I'll just mute. Are you? Oh, yes, all right. 1 second. My own voice was replaying somewhere. Yes, are you? Am I audible? Am I visible? Suddenly the screen is not visible for me.
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Okay, something has happened. Yes, settings got changed. All right, hurry. So, this is the final realization of these rishis. In Dhyana also, sometimes this is one experience. This was like, I would not call this full experience, but there was a brief moment where I suddenly imagined myself being a small child and I am going through the stages which whatever I have come across in life. Suddenly, all was happening so quickly and I felt I was falling into a pit. I was feeling like I'm falling and something, life is passing in front. Now, suddenly, I was like, yes. Suddenly, I remembered my childhood. Has the childhood died? No. Childhood is inside. I think all of us also, if you just imagine, our life has passed through so many stages. But what are we? Did we change? We were once upon a time mischievous children in classroom, playing pranks also. Then afterwards, we stopped playing. But will that mischief on the inside, that still remains, isn't it? I think everybody will be honest to themselves only. That some things do not change, some things are eternal, some spirit inside. Each person has got a divine stamp. That is the stamp we should understand. That is the stamp we have to connect. The day we connect to it, we are liberated. And Krishna is going on. He says, Yo mameva sammudho janati purushottama sa sarvavit bhajati mam sarvabhavena bharata. My gnosis complete. He who has attained myself as the Supreme Self, he who has ordained. He loves me with everything he has in every way. As per his own nature, he adores me every day. Somebody who has got the realization. This is Bhagwan. Sanatano Bhagavan. This Bhagavan is that Sanatan I have understood. What does that person do? That is it. The life is given to that divine only. They understand everything in their life. They say, I offer to you. And it is not something which is done like being brainwashed or something. It happens naturally. Your highest love you offer to the divine. And whichever way, as per the nature. Means each person has a swabhava. According to that swabhava, that person does the prayer. What he has done is he has ordained the divine. We have all heard of Prana Pratishtha, isn't it? Can someone tell me what this is, Prana Pratishtha? Yes, we're going to complete this Adhyay and start off the next Adhyay. But before that, yes, Prana Pratishtha. Have you heard of this? What is it? If someone can tell me. Yes, Shivaji.
Yeah, I think it's actually an exalted, or rather, the high priest or someone breathes into the this thing, into the
Murti.
what do you call it? Yeah, murti, to give it like prana, using the prana to give
Okay.
life to the murti or divine life,
Okay. 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 So
something
this
like
is
that.
Shivaji is saying, yes. Shivaji is saying this is the Prana Pratishtha, which is done by the priest who is probably aware of all the agamas also, who has studied the traditions also, and they follow some scientific process by which a Shila or a stone suddenly becomes a Daivat. Prana enters into that, and then everybody believe and work accordingly, only that this is the aspect. Now, my question is this
Ganapati
Prana
Sthapana.
Pratishtha. Yes, yes.
Ganapati Sthapana.
Ganapati Sthapana. Okay, Kulkarni ji has talked about Ganapati Sthapana. But does this happen in Ganesh Utsav also, Kulkarni ji?
No.
No.
That is the common example I have given.
It is a common example.
Yeah.
Okay. But then you have given an example in the temple, isn't it? This Prana Pratishtha.
In your house also.
In our house also. So, means it is not only in temple. It can be done in the house also. That is one thing interesting. Now, but can it not be done on Ganesh Chaturthi when Ganesh Utsav is there? Kulkarni ji.
It can be done, no?
It can be done, isn't it?
No doubt.
In many households, they start doing this next few days. Om Prakash, wants to add something? Yes, sir.
No, in our case also, we have the Krishna idol, which has been the Daiva, and it continues for the generations also,
Okay. Yes.
Same idol, and
yes. That is done, and then it is again revived. And what do? You reaffirm, you ordain, you establish. Yes, this is the divine. In Ganesh Chaturthi festivals at home, we were told this is now Ganpati Bappa is in the house. So both of you children behave properly. So me and my sister would fight. One of us who wanted to get some kind of, like an embassy, some asylum, they would run into the room where Bappa is there. So there no fight would take place because we would consciously believe that the divine is now present. We would just wait for the other person to leave the room to take our revenge, but not there. So this experience of this is not, I would not say this is Prana Pratishtha, but this is somewhere an ordaining of the divine, establishing. Like that, there are different ways. Sometimes in the house, if there is no male also, Shastras do permit a female also to do that in their home for a particular way. So different places, different, like not just the temple, in your home also. These are all ordaining of the divine, meaning making one person self-conscious of the divinity. My question is, if we can do this to objects, we can, with full Shraddha, with full sincerity, bring to life, like we saw Ekalavya's story also, isn't it? Dronacharya taught him from the statue only, better than he actually taught from face to face. Well, this is the Shraddha which gives the power. My question is, can we do Prana Pratishtha of the divine inside of ourselves? Yes, by theory, at least. Shouldn't it be possible?
Should
Or
be.
not?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes, Ushaji says yes. Anybody else agrees?
Agree.
Yes, Shivaji?
Yes.
Agreed.
Yes.
I agree. Yes.
Agreeing, yes. But it gives a lot of responsibility. Isn't
Prana
it?
is there already.
It gives a lot of, then people say, no, ye rehne do. This is not
Prana
that.
is there. Prana is
Yes.
there already.
Yes, but become conscious of the divine.
We have to recognize it.
Yes, no, it is like if you see if you see Saraswati mantra, there is Saraswati Nrityatu Vachi Me Sada. It is attributed to, of course, Agastya Muni, but I do not know which Agastya, if it is the Vedic Agastya or another. But there's a dialogue: Saraswati Nrityatu Vachi Me Sada. Means, oh Goddess Saraswati, dance at the tip of my tongue. How many of us would want that to? We'll get afraid now. Ma Saraswati will hear me tell certain other things which I don't want. Then I will get punishment. I don't want to do that. Or I don't want the divinity to be so awake inside. These are the, what we can say, human natures which prevent us from rising. So this ordaining of the divine can be done in our life, in our presence also, inside of us. That let us become aware, let us become conscious. Somebody who loves the divine has no hesitation. It is like my good and my bad. It is in front of the divine. I will not, it is like a child, a baby without clothes, like that a bhakta is in front of the divine, not afraid of hiding anything. And that bhakta can actually rise in consciousness completely. Otherwise, it is always little ahankar, little tamas, little other factors. It is just preventing and crowding a person's thoughts and not allowing that person to grow. So here, this is what Krishna is saying. Such a person, he loves the divine, adores the divine, whichever way it is. And such a person raises to the highest consciousness. So again, we see it is bhakti, it is shraddha only coming to the front. Your shraddha will take you ahead. Your shraddha will give you the anubhav. What you are seeking for, don't. Yes, somebody wants to ask something. Is it?
A similar process is done in our art class.
In art class. Yes, Ushaji, please share. Yes,
when we do the paintings of divine divine pictures, like for Krishna or for any other gods, at the end of the painting, when the painting is finished, the eyes are done, where the soul is supposed to reside. Yeah, last. And on that day, it's a big ceremony in class. We all dress up and come for that with offerings and flowers and incense and all that, because that day we know the divine is going to come to the class. And then the opening of the eyes is done, and then everybody will sing bhajans and praises of the whichever divinity it is, and we offer the prasad and we do aarti, and we are all very happy, like it's like a party that day. The divine has come.
Yes,
so
yes,
that
so
is
beautiful.
Prana Pratishtha in the painting.
Yes, Prana Pratishtha of the painting. How beautiful is that? Thank you for sharing, Ushaji. Now, anybody has a doubt that Krishna is not attending Ushaji's class when she does? How many of you? And does anybody have a doubt that Krishnaji doesn't go to when the eyes are come? Yes, his tattva is alive. Doesn't Deepakji wants to share? Yes, sir.
Not at all.
Yes,
No
sir?
doubt at all.
No doubt at all. No doubt at all. Absolutely. This is actually the experience a person and the bhakta can understand this experience. It is not just superstition. And how does it happen? How do you see the Krishna? Not everybody will get a Vishwarupa Darshana, not everybody will get Chaturbhuja Darshana, but somebody will get that anubhav, that experience. Suddenly some things, dots connecting, somewhere, some brief inspiration, what many times they say coincidences, but they are not always coincidences. There are what we can say, there's a big ream of activity going on behind the wheel of things, which moves everything. And that realization can come only when the Shraddha is there. There was a juggler who went to the divine for the first time. This juggler did not know what to do. I have never learned praying. So he started doing juggling in front of the divine. That is all he can offer. But so much in that fervor of offering that with his Shraddha, he started doing better and better juggling. As much as he can, he started raising the stakes. Even tougher, riskier moves, because he wants to offer the best for the divine, the best juggling. And suddenly he goes beyond his physical limit. All the pins start falling on his head one by one. Now this juggler is dazed and he's fallen down, almost semi-conscious. That time he sees somebody nurses him, somebody touches his head, tells him, no, take care, and then helps him get up. And he sees that there's an old man who has helped him. So he thanks that old man and then he walks out. As he walks out, he sees the priest and he asks, what happened? Then nothing happened, I hit myself. But that old man was very sweet and kind that he came. The priest says, which old man? He says, that old man who helped me. He says, I've been standing here from that time, no old man came. Now this person had a wish for a fatherly figure and the fatherly figure came to him. He did not experience that before. Now these are all experiences, and I've actually met one person who was hit and thrown by the river, thrown to die. And somebody nursed him and gave him a medicine also. This is a true story of Mr. Manimaran. He's a very well-known person who's been treating lepers. And that was his experience that he shared. Now, why does he have to? He does not have anything from me. He doesn't need anything from me. He came and just shared his experience that way once. So this experience is to be had, and Shraddha is there. Until Shraddha is not there, it is like having the best field but not having water. What will happen with that? A dry field full of cracks. That is a field without Shraddha. Shraddha is the moisture which is going to allow beautiful crops to grow. Here, Krishna is telling us the same thing, something very important. Here he says, this is the cryptic wisdom. He says, the last shloka, he says, Iti guhyatamam shastram idam uktam maya nagha etat buddhva buddhimanasya kratakatyasya bharata. The cryptic wisdom, thus I have declared. To you, O Arjuna, I have unveiled and shared this occult secret. By knowing and understanding, one attains the highest enlightenment possible to the living. Understand this, know this, get the highest enlightenment is what Krishna is saying. Again, he's calling it a secret, a cryptic secret. Why is it a secret? Can someone tell me why is Shraddha such a big secret? From the beginning, Shraddha is an old thing, isn't it? Shraddha is not something new for at least Bharat. We are a land which so many people say we have Andha Shraddha. No, Shraddha cannot be blind. Shraddha is Shraddha. Ignorance is blind. Tama is blind. But Shraddha is something else. But why do we think Shraddha is a secret? Or what is the reason? Anybody? Because everywhere Krishna is dealing and giving us secrets, he is somewhere indicating importance of Shraddha. That is why some Bhakti Marga says, just have Bhakti, it will do everything else. Naam japte chalo, kaam karte chalo. How is it? What is it? Why? Why is this a secret though? Because everybody talks about it. Can someone tell me please? So this Adhyay is over. We enter into the 16th Adhyay. Yes, please. Anyone? Yes, Sharda ji. Yes, Maji.
It is the backbone of the living, Shraddha.
Yes, ji, but why is it a secret? What is the reason? Everybody doesn't have it, no? Yes.
You are asking the reason for Shraddha.
No, why is it a secret? Why is everybody not having Shraddha? When it is the backbone, it is the most important, it is something which is going to liberate us. Krishna is telling 100 times in the Gita, so many places he is telling us. But still man does not have Shraddha. What could be the reason he is not having Shraddha? Anyone? Yes, Shardaji?
No, sir.
No, ji, okay. Yes, Shivaji would like to.
Is it because people are so much caught up in the web of Maya that they don't?
Yes, we feel we are that Maya, the Ahankar, that actually comes in between our Shraddha, and sometimes the doubts only take us completely away. That is the problem. But once we get liberated, once we rise beyond these, then the freedom is experienced. And then the qualities also, the different things which come from. What does Shraddha allow a person to do? It allows a person to grow in consciousness. Shraddha alone is not something which is bereft of knowledge. It is Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. From Shraddha comes knowledge. So that is the base. I think we all have Shraddha in the doctor we visit, even though we have never seen the doctor. Why is that Shraddha there? Because we want to become all right, isn't it? Unknown doctor also, we will not say, you go and tell the doctor, this is my first operation. I'm a little nervous. Doctor will say, yes, mine also. Immediately you will run out of the operation theater. No, I don't want to be the first patient of this doctor. I can't keep Shraddha on this person. For me, Shraddha needs to have a logic of so many operations this person must have done. Then I'll keep Shraddha. But that is also not Shraddha, isn't it? That is also some kind of give and take where you're calculating. And there's no guarantee that one doctor who has done 100 good operations will do the 101st operation correctly. Wherever you go, you will have to have that Shraddha. You go, look at the money also. I promise to pay the bearer of this note. Who is promising? Is it Gandhiji who is promising? No, it's the RBI governor who is promising. Who is going to go and ask the governor? But no, we have Shraddha that this is a currency and this currency is accepted, and that is how the entire system works, a system on faith. A written word is given to the bank respects that word. Everywhere, Shraddha is functional in our life. In one thing, Shraddha in the divine, that is one experience which a person must get. To get that experience, ask questions. It's not that you should not ask questions. Sanatana Dharma does not say a person who asks question is wrong. But a person who stops asking questions and tries to give his own answers, that person is not going to get the answer, and he will have to, it's like I am writing my exam, I am correcting my own paper and moving ahead. That is where one is not truthful. So here, because many yogis, even Sri Aurobindo, there was a time when he was questioning the divine. Swami Vivekananda, the great one, he was also, agar tum ho to ye kyun hai? So if you respect the question, respect also the search that he did, and you have your own search and get the experience. Sakshatkar will come to you. Krishna says God is equidistant from all. He is not closer to some people and more away from some people. So anyway, let us begin. We will look at the next Adhyay, which is the 16th Adhyay. We are now going closer to the last Adhyay of the Gita. Let us see what this is. Can someone describe what you see in the illustration? Yes, please. Anybody, if you can just describe this. Yes, please. Can someone tell me? Please unmute and tell me.
Hari Om.
Yes.
Dheeraj. Hello.
Yes. Yes, Bharinanji, somebody who has not yet shared, you can just again turn. I'll come to you after that. Yes, please. Who was speaking before Bharinanji? Please continue.
Yeah, I was trying to.
Oh, Chitraji. Okay. Yes, ji.
Yeah, it shows two people basically in the picture, with one person having a halo on his head to represent some kind of a divine nature or calmness, whereas the other person has two horns that represent some kind of
yes, ji.
a
And
demon.
in the appearance wise, any other attributes you can see? Who looks?
Yeah, the one with the halo looks calmer, happier, and this person, the other one with the horns, looks more aggressive, angry.
No audio. No audio, sir.
Hari Om, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, I'm sorry. I think it was my screen. I thought it was somebody else's screen. It was mine only, which suddenly froze. Chitraji, you were continuing, is it? The expression on the faces of the two people?
Yeah, the one with the halo looks much calmer, happier, whereas the other one with the horns, he looks more angry, and he has a catapult in his hand. It seems like
that is used to hurt others, no?
hurt others. Yeah.
Hurt birds, and it's not always used for plucking fruits only. It is used for even in our village also. I saw children so excitedly running after something. I saw they wanted to beat one exotic bird. That is a nature. It is a nature. But what happiness is there in hurting? Well, that can be asuric nature. Somewhere that line is very thin. One side is the divine, one side is the demonic. Anybody would like to add further to what Chitraji has shared? And Badrinanji also, if you wanted to add. Yes, sir.
Hari Om, Sushrutji.
Yes, ji.
Dheeraj here.
Yes,
see, the hand, the person who is calm and quiet, his hands are open. So he is accepting the universe. Whereas the person
Okay.
who is angry is having a folded hand.
The body language
don't-
is not
Yeah,
willing
yeah.
to
Not willing to
Okay.
share anything with anybody. This is
or
what I
receive
think.
anything also, isn't
Or
it?
receive
Blocked.
anything. Yeah.
Or blocked. Okay, that's a beautiful observation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hari Om.
All right. Hari Om. Yes, this is also. And this kind of in meetings also you can identify if somebody's standing like this, you know, this person is already angry. He's not going to listen to anything that
Yeah,
is being
generally I
told.
use that rule.
Yes, yes. So, all right. Fine, Dheerajji. That's a nice observation. So, there are two traits found in people, namely the divine and the demonic. All persons belong to one of the two categories. This is interesting. Unlike Rajas, Tamas, and Sattva, which are all present inside of one person only, here the statement is saying that one person is sometimes overall either Asuri or either Devi in Swabhava. Let us see. We will see how it's connected with the Adhyay. It begins with Krishna speaking. Krishna says, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. He says, Abhayam Sattva Sanshuddhihi Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi Danam Damascha Yajñascha Swadhyayastapa Arjavam. Fearlessly persevering for the inner purification and engaging in the yoga of knowledge with dedication. Holding all the senses in control and by selflessly giving, engaging in sacrifice, ascesis, and scriptural reading. Am I audible? The screen is frozen. Today there's some network drop. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it is audible and visual as well, means working at my end.
Acha ji. Fine. If there is some issue, please feel free to point out, because from me, on my end, I'm seeing the screen frozen. So yes, as Krishna says, holding all the senses in control, selflessly giving, engaging in sacrifice, ascesis, and scriptural reading. So here, these are all qualities. First one, abhayam, fearlessness. What a person is doing is just not just fearless, but persevering for an inner purification, seeking knowledge, engaging in the yoga of knowledge, controlling senses, engaging in sacrifice, engaging in dana. Dana, dhamma means self-control, ascesis means tapasya, and scriptural reading. So Krishna is probably talking about some good qualities right now. That much we can understand. He goes on further. He says, Ahimsa satyama krodha tyaga shanti rapaishunam daya bhuteshvalolupvam mardavam rira chapalam. Ahimsa. So, bereft of anger, practicing non-violence and truthfulness, self-giving, absence of fault-finding and peacefulness, devoid of greed and holding a global compassion, modesty, tenderness, and an unswerving determination. So, having control over anger, practicing ahimsa. Krishna is talking about ahimsa. Krishna is talking about ahimsa to Arjuna in the middle of the battlefield. Arjuna has to take part in yuddha. What is the logic in this ahimsa? Anybody? What do you think could be the meaning of this ahimsa here? Because some people have interpreted ahimsa as absolute non-violence only. So Gita is teaching ahimsa is what people say. So what is it? Did Krishna not listen? Did Arjuna not listen to Krishna while participating in Kurukshetra? What could be the meaning of this ahimsa, which Krishna is talking about? These are good qualities, he says.
Action without anger or
Probably
any
action,
kind of emotion.
Yes, probably not having that bloodlust, isn't it? Well, this person is having a soldier who is having a lot of excitement and hatred and all those emotions. Such a soldier is going to be trigger friendly. But when a soldier does duty and eliminates a terrorist, is it called murder? It is not murder, isn't it? It is not even himsa. It is actually swadharma. It is called self-defense. When somebody attacks you, can you say, I will not attack back because it's not my principle? Yes or no? Even if you say, I don't believe, I'm proponent of non-violence, you are proponent of non-violence for that person, but you are a proponent of violence for self, isn't it? If you're allowing yourself to be beaten, that's the worst violence. It is what Krishna has also told. This is a swadharma, you have to protect. And when it is a highest dharma, that must be upheld. One cannot hide behind different interpretations for suiting our own narrative. So this aspect Krishna is talking about, it's very important. Having this trait, a doctor is having decided now that he's done a diagnosis and there are cancer cells inside of the body. Can the doctor say, I believe in non-violence, so I will not try to kill these cells and I will not give you this treatment? See, those cells also, those cancerous cells, already they are growing in an abnormal manner. People must accept this diversity and allow them to grow. Can the doctor say that? Absolutely not. That is a dharma. So when you are holding the dharma, it is not violence when you are upholding the dharma. But while upholding dharma, you cannot allow violent streak to enter inside. Otherwise, you will go on the wrong path. You will also go away from the path, because anger and these are all emotions which can manipulate a person completely, totally. So one must be calm, one must be quiet. So these qualities Krishna is talking about, you must have. Even a soldier should not simply be trigger friendly and start shooting. That then he shoots civilians and then he'll be court-martialed for such an action if he has done it consciously or knowingly. So these are aspects. Again, self-giving, willing to give everything for others, willing to give everything for a cause, something higher than the individual selfish cause. That is a divine trait. Absence of fault finding. This is also very important, because I think all of us engage in finding faults. One friend of mine gave me a brilliant idea. People are not reading your poems. Make a mistake in the second line of the poem, make a very obvious mistake. Everybody will put a comment and they'll say, this is wrong, correct it, change, make this change. Because this nature is there that we will find faults in somebody else. Best singer in the world may be singing in front of you. नहीं मुझे वो सुर थोड़ा अच्छा नहीं लगा. We don't know the basic of this sur also, but we will be able to find faults. Dheeraj wants to share something. Yes, Dheeraj. Yes, sir. Please feel free to unmute.
Is it something like respond instead of react?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes. And somewhere subconsciously we feel when we find somebody's fault, we become better. That is why Krishna is saying it's a divine quality in not finding faults in others. What does Kabir also say? The same thing. Bura jo dekhan main chala, bura na milya koi, jo dil khoja apna, mujhsa bura na koi. He was not a bad man that he was finding such dirt inside or bad inside of him. But this is the yogi. The yogi is doing self-purification. And this purification of a yogi has a great ripple effect in so many levels and so many consciousness. It was said if at all the French Revolution took place, it was because there was a man on Indian snows meditating upon equality, liberty, and fraternity. There's a quote like that of the mother of Sri Aurobindo Ashram. Because across the world, this divine connection is there. And when the yogi starts purifying, it is like when you clear your own backyard, you take the first step in cleaning up the world, isn't it? Start from your place. Something like that. Focus on yourself. Stop finding faults in others. Remain peaceful. Devoid of greed. Greed is also a wrong aspect which takes a person away. Holding a global compassion. So again, we don't have to become heartless. On the Sanatan Marga, we are asked to not have desires, but we are not losing connect with the world. We care for the world. That is why it is said only the sensitive person can walk on the Adhyatmic Marga. Insensitive person cannot progress at all. Because a person is sensitive, he's seeking, he's hurt or he's disturbed by something and wants to go to the root. Gautam Buddha, what happened? He saw death. He said, why is death there? Why is suffering? Why is man suffering? Why is illness? I can't accept it. I will not accept it. Let me search. And he left. He went on a search continuously. And he found it. Just like that, the sensitive heart, which is beating for others than the selfish person only, that can go ahead is what we can see. Modesty also. Tenderness also. This is beautiful. And the best example is the Gaja. The elephant can uproot a big tree also, isn't it? And yet that same trunk can also pick out a small needle from a haystack. Means there is strength also, but there is modesty, there is tenderness. Arjuna can become Parantapa when he's in the battlefield. Armies can flee from him. And when he becomes Bruhannala, even everybody get attracted by his beautiful dancing. How is it possible? Dance is different. This is brute physical strength. No, it is not like that. So there is modesty, there is tenderness, and an unswerving determination. This also is a very important trait. What we are seeing probably are all the divine traits that Krishna is talking about. Modesty, tenderness, and an unswerving determination. Tejaha, Shama, Dhruti, Shaucham, Adroho, Natimanita, Bhavanti Sampadam Daivim, Abhijatasya, Bharata. Radiating purity, showing forgiveness and valiance, not having envy or pride, and holding a poised balance. O Arjuna, these qualities encompass the treasure inherited by those born with a divine nature. So Krishna is saying, these are all the qualities. Shloka 1, 2, 3. Third shloka is about radiating purity. A teja is emanated from a person who does sadhana. It goes in all directions. You can see the purity emanate from such a person. That is teja. Showing forgiveness. That heart which can forgive is definitely a heart which is risen. A heart which is, what we can say, sensitive also. And sometimes in life we have to forgive and then only we can move on. So that Shama also is there. If Rama was there, he was known for his Karuna also, that he showed, and he was very easy. It's like even Bholenath. Shiva is called Bholenath. Why? Because immediately he forgives also that easily as he takes offense. Something like that. And valiance. That person is having a bravery. One valiant aspect is there when they are connected with the divine. Shivaji's all soldiers, Jai Bhavani, Jai Shivaji, and they would enter into the battlefield. How did they get that strength? They connected to the divinity and received it. Not having envy or pride, holding a balance. Oh Arjuna, these qualities encompass the treasure inherited by those born with a divine nature. This is the real inheritance. More than any will you can inherit in this world, the greatest wealth are in these 3 shlokas. My question is, does a person have any of these? Do we have any of these, or do we have many of these, or do we have all of these? Anybody? Or if I rephrase the question, can we have all of these? Yes, Badrinathji. Yes, sir.
Most of the people have many of these. Like, those who are tolerant, those who are having forgiveness, those who are having, and most of the qualities we have. I can say about 60-70% we have. We will have to develop the balanced qualities.
Yes. And these are actually, but everybody don't have that, isn't it?
Yeah, not all.
Many people. We call such people good ones, isn't it?
Yeah.
We call the nice people, the good people, the nice people which make the world a better place. Well, these are what the Gita calls the Devi Sampati, or the divine people, the divine ones. If you have 1 or 2 qualities, that's great. It's time to cultivate others also, because if you have all of these qualities, then Kubera also might appear poor in front of you. Yes, Shivaji wants to add something. Yes, sir.
I think practically what you find is you find the qualities in some of these qualities in various people, but the thing is, it's intermittent. Sometimes, if you take tolerance, their tolerance in 70% of the situation, but 30% they lose that tolerance because it gets beyond a limit. So you can't say fully the qualities are there. It may be there, but it could be 50-50, 60-40 or something like that.
But can the percentage be increased? We can increase it, isn't it? Probably sadhana will help, isn't it, Shivaji? Sadhana will make a person very tolerant. Sometimes I've seen a person who gets very angry and he's suddenly smiling at some trick which would have normally made that person lose all the control. How did that person do it? He says, no, I remembered I was doing a mantra jap in my head. So I didn't get irritated what was happening outside of me. I knew that person was trying to trigger me. So this aspect is what Krishna is saying. Interesting aspect, if we have to note, Krishna is saying these are the qualities of that individual born with a divine nature. So here we are seeing that some of the people are born with this trait. Maybe sometimes two children in the same household, one child is having cranky nature, getting angry, mother has not given milk, so the face is irritated, and other child is okay, mother got little late also is fine. The child is able to accept. One person is having particular greed, another person is not having it. Well, these are traits we can say, which as Shivaji has perfectly said, nobody has got it in full. But some people are born with some of these, and that has to be raised. If you have these are the divine qualities that Krishna is calling. He's talking about the divine. Then he goes on further. Dambho darpo bhimanascha krodha parushamevacha ajnanam chabhijatasya partha sampadam masurim. Egoism, false pride, deceitful arrogance, anger, harshness, and the vice of ignorance. Oh Arjuna, these are the qualities that define those born with the demonic natures and divine. So this is from birth, people are having these traits, probably because of Purva Janma Karma. We are carrying certain things, carrying forward is going on. Some people are born with a good credit balance, somebody is born with a debit balance. What has to be done? Well, credit balance person should not become too happy that I have so much credit and squander away all the credit. Punya also can get lost. And the person who is with a big debit should not lose hope that I'm having a debt. I can always clear the debt with sadhana. That is what one must understand. So what are the qualities Krishna is saying? Egoism. I am so and so. I am so great. This ahankar. Ravana, what happened to him ultimately because of ahankar? Great Pandit. Great, what we can say, strength. What happened ultimately? His entire land, his entire kingdom, everything was lost. Ego leads to that only, downfall. False pride. There is something called Swabhiman. Yes, I am an Indian. I'm proud of being an Indian. But that is the, what we can say, right pride. But where it goes slightly, ahankar attaches to it, it becomes false. Then that's the problem. So again, false pride. Deceitful arrogance. So arrogantly, doing deceitful things, cheating others. And still, they said chori or sina jori. That is deceitful arrogance. Well, that is also what we can say asuric trait. Anger. Don't be happy that you're getting angry. No, it's a wrong thing. Anger can ruin you. Anger can ruin relationships. I know of a friend's relationship that just got ruined with one moment. Now he's ruining his entire life for what I did in that one moment of anger. So anger. Harshness. We don't have to be harsh. Nobody has taught us to be harsh. Truth is itself harsh. Why do you have to add harshness to it while speaking the truth also? Sometimes I have to speak the truth because Krishna has given that responsibility to me only in this world. So I'll go and speak the truth. Some people take that thought. But when they speak the truth, they add a harshness to it. It's not required. That harshness is also a wrong aspect. Krishna is not asking you to be harsh anytime also. It's actually Sanatana Dharma is Satyam Bruyat, Na Bruyat, Satyam Apriyam, Priyam Chananritam Bruyat, Esha Dharma Sanatana. Speak that truth in such a way that it doesn't cause disturbance. Because at least that much care you should take. Somebody who is ignorant hears truth will get disturbed by his own accord. That is a karma phala of ignorance or tamas. So harshness has to be removed. It's not required. And the vice of ignorance. So ignorance is bliss. We have to say bye-bye when we are reading the Gita. No more can we say ignorance is bliss. Krishna has told it's a vice. Nowhere is ignorance good. Ignorance is good as long as we don't experience the karma phala of our ignorance. So here, ignorance also, these are all qualities which Krishna is saying of those born with an undivine nature or the demonic nature. We'll stop at the next shloka because suddenly Arjuna felt, is Krishna talking about me? Because Krishna was talking about Asuri nature and probably Arjuna thought, see, I was having ignorance. Immediately next shloka, Krishna says, Daivi sampad vimokshaya nibandhaya surimata mashacha sampadam daivim Abhijatosi Pandava. By these qualities divine, liberation one can gain, but demonic nature ties one to bondage's chain. O Arjuna, be not under any duress. It is the divine qualities that you possess. So Krishna tells Arjuna, see, the divine nature will liberate you. Demonic nature will put you in greater traps, one after the other. And because Arjuna has a divine nature, he's got a lot of humility. Suddenly, when Krishna said all these qualities, Dambo, Darpo, Bhimanascha, was I arrogant when I told this to Krishna? So he's probably having second thoughts in his head. Krishna immediately, like a very loving guide and friend, he says, no, Arjuna, don't worry. You don't have the Asuri nature. You have the divine nature. Next part of this Adhyay is Krishna describing demonic nature only. I'll conclude but with one small question. Why? Why does Krishna have to tell about demonic nature in such detail? Anybody? We have to cultivate good nature. Krishna has immediately in 3 shlokas completed all. We just study, do sadhana, try to cultivate these natures inside of us. We have already reached a good state of consciousness. But now Krishna
They are
is
very
going to talk about.
common.
Yes,
They are very
Kirtaniji?
common. They are very
So,
common. In
the
every
demonic nature is very common.
yes.
Okay. But which direction you don't want to go? If I don't want to go to Shimla or some hill station, what is the use for me to go and browse and decide which sweater I have to purchase or which other warm clothes I have to go? If I don't have to go there, why should I? What is the point in Krishna spending so much focus on demonic nature? Instead, he
Exactly
can say
what
it is demon.
what
Yes, sir.
what
Yes, sir.
what you should not do or what qualities you should not have that he
What you
wants
should
to
not have.
express.
Okay, that's a wonderful answer, sir. So what qualities you should not have? Probably, yes, that is something which is one way we can actually understand also. It is how Namliji would always say, this Durjanam Prathamam Vande Sajjanam Tadanantaram. Because a Sajjan will give big pravachans. He will talk for hours and hours, all good things. But a bad person will tell you what is the consequence of bad action in immediate instant karma. If you find a criminal getting caught, and if that criminal is from your own society, that's it. Oh my God, this person got caught. You may not feel that disturbed, but there will be so many on the cats on the wall. Okay, this person did this corruption. I would have also done this corruption. I would have also got caught. Better not do such thing. I will not engage in such actions. So when so many people told him before, don't do any corrupt activity, the person did not learn. But when his neighbor got caught and in the society, everybody saw him being dragged by the police or by the ED or different organizations, then this person is, these criminals are sometimes the best teachers, isn't it? Pravachan will go on, satsang will go on, ultimately the person will not change also. It will be nice to hear at that time and then over. But wrong, a person will first thing will tell, yes, this is going to happen to you also. So probably that could be one reason as Kulkarniji shared. And one more reason is Krishna wants his sadhak to be well equipped in the world. This world is a place where there's a yuddha going on. This is not what we can say complete cakewalk. We have hurdles also. So when somebody, I think Vinita ji had asked this question also, that we have people who are selfish also. We meet people who are not having Devi Sampadi. How do we understand? How do we deal? And how do we protect our own inner sadhana? Or should we become like them? We saw today that Krishna has told, we will also get trapped if we allow this anger to come in, harshness, vice of ignorance, abhimana. Just because somebody else is having, we start to meet that person and balance it. We will get trapped in karma bandhanas. So we have to become liberated. Yet, without becoming trapped, how do we deal with such people? Probably the next part is going to tell us. That could be one more practical reason. Because now the last few adhyas are going to be very practical. I conclude with a Shanti mantra. If anybody has any queries after that, you are most welcome. सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तो मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। हरि ओम तत्सत्। कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। हरि ओम जी। Any queries? Most welcome. Namaste ji.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om ji. Yes ji.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om ji. Hari Om. Any queries? Most welcome. Or we'll
Could you
conclude the
please
session.
explain the word dhriti?
Dhriti.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, Dr. Atul ji. Dhriti is like a determination. It is in the Shloka number 2, isn't it?
Yes.
Tejas Shava Dhruti Shaucham. Dhruti
Yes.
is connected with what is the truth, with truthfulness. Such a person.
Perseverance.
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay.
A determined perseverance for seeking the truth.
Okay. Right.
But look at the name, Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra has the same root, isn't it? Dhruti. But probably he did not rise up to his name that has been given. It is sometimes said each person gets a name. There is a story behind that name also sometimes. Because the divine will is there behind the name. So you have to try to connect with that. Become connected with the name, you get the experience of. So Dhritarashtra, it's like life purpose also, because so many names are there out of which we get the name. Our parents choose one particular name. But sometimes they may know the logic, they may not know the logic. So like that, if Dhritarashtra probably would have understood, he could have avoided. He could have avoided the Mahabharata. Yes, sir. Hari Om. Yes, sir.
Hari Om ji. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Namaste ji.
Just a quick observation. These 4 shlokas that we saw today on the 16th chapter, there are about 20 plus qualities which define the divine, and about 6 bad qualities that go on the that define as it says undivine. So
yes,
you need all the 20 plus to become divine, but you need only 1 to become undivine. Is that right?
Yes. The divine nature. Very beautiful observation, Shivaji. Absolutely, sir. That it is easy. The fall is so easy. To rise on top, it requires.
I was going to say it's a bit unfair.
What to do?
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
But it comes naturally. One thing is, the divine nature comes naturally. To get the wrong nature, it is just ahankar which will create a person's. It is like it completely ruins the personality also. Means in the heart, maybe one person is like wanting to be nice, then got a bad experience. Bad experience triggered the ego, and then this is the world. World is like this only. You have to be this way. These are all natures which have come because of reactions. So, but it's a very, you can say we can take the complaint to the higher authority.
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
we can ask Krishna. This is not fair. We need to work on this.
Exactly. Yeah, that's fine.
Absolutely.
So that's why Shraddha is so much of a secret, I guess.
It is simple.
Yeah.
It's a secret, or it's what we can call a cheat code in the game, which of life.
That's
simple. It makes everything easy. Shraddha is there. Krishna kar lega. Means they say the divine work has to be done by whom? By the divine.
Divine, yeah.
Headache is the divine, not our head. Our job is to do our karma, which is in our kshetra, which divine has allotted to us. That we must do in a right manner without carrying the burden. Shraddha will allow you to, like you have a lot of memory space in uploading into cloud drives, no? Like that, our life problems you can upload into the divine with Shraddha, secret access. Just pass it on. ठीक है, कोई क्या होने वाला है, कैसे होने वाला है. One NGO I have seen, one very old person. He's running an old age home. Now he's old, but last he was maybe in his 50s or something when he started it, 40s or 50s. Then he went through. He got a heart attack also. Very low on funds. How is everything going to happen? But it's happening, and this is the divine will arrange. Every time I feel now I'm not having money to feed the women, all the old ladies, divine will arrange and correctly gets there. Somebody comes and says, my father's last wish was to feed them for 1 week. Here, come, I'm giving you the check. It had happened just one day before I reached, and he was saying, see, I have this check in hand. Right now, my finances were bad. Now, God arranges. And he says that much. He doesn't do anything else. He focuses on the work. So probably Shraddha is, like you said, It is a secret. It will make everything possible. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Namaste ji. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Namaste ji.
Hari Om. Hari Om ji.
Hari Om ji.
Hari Om. Hare Krishna.
Hari
Hari
Om.
Om. Hari Om ji. Namaste. Hari Om. Hari Om. Yes, Deepak ji, do you want to add something or can we conclude the session?
Yes, yes.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Namaste ji.
Please conclude.
Yes, sir.
Please conclude. Please conclude.
Okay. Yes, I think somebody joined just now. It is Sudha ji, is it? Sudha ji. The session is over now, ji.
Okay, sorry.
It start. No problem. It is okay. She's disappeared.